said that he actually messed up his technique on the interception. What do you say to a guy when, he's saying he messed up and
Production overrides technique. Production overrides technique. No, I mean, he just reacted. He just reacted to what was happening in front of him. And, last 2 weeks he's visited the end zone twice, so we're in favor of that.
Why are you comfortable calling a corner blitz? I mean, you've called them on early downs, whether it be to stop the run, but, I mean, they've been really effective.
Yeah. I think it's just part of the plan and who you're going against, and obviously trusting the guys that, we build things here, systematically. So a blitz, specifically a edge blitz, the technique is taught the same to everybody, so that's one of the things we're going to do here. We've talked about it for a long time. Our corners are going to tackle, and, part of that is blitzing. So it's been effective for us, and, and we've done it for years. It's nothing new, so I guess that's all of it wrapped up in one.
In that sense, how much have you had to adapt your game plan knowing that you don't have a Michael Hoyt in there or this time don't have Joey Bosa in there?
Yeah. It's certainly a challenge. Everybody wants everybody healthy, right? Top to bottom. So you got to approach each week differently, and it's a challenge for everybody every week in the NFL, if that makes sense. Like, everybody's going to be banged up. Everybody's going to have a certain, element of being banged up, availability, those type of things. So, it's just a constant evolving thing of, hey, how do we match up? How do we take advantage of what we believe the perceived weakness is? And, you try your best to do it. You're not 100%, but you try to bat fairly high.
What's your main takeaway yesterday, Bobby, from the defensive effort? Because, the third downs, the 34 points allowed, I'm sure are numbers that you don't like, but the guys made two, huge plays when you needed them.
Right. There's, we talked about it today as a staff. If you start with the positives, the run game was good. We did a nice job in the run game. We had the two takeaways. We scored again on defense. There was the 2-minute stop before half that's absolutely critical. And I know I'm missing some things in there. But, then you talk about it came down to third down and them extending drives, and it came down to the two vertical shots, the one being in their 2-minute type situation at the end. And we can't give up vertical shots. That's not what we do. Guys got to do their job, and we got to make plays on the ball, not take anything away from them. Obviously, they have some really good pass catchers. And then the third down, it was a little bit of this, a little bit of that, all combined into one. And, we've been pretty clean in that area. We just got to get back on track as far as making sure guys are doing their jobs and understanding what we're trying to accomplish by each call.
What have you made of Terran's season?
Yeah, I think Terran's done some really good things and has gotten into a rhythm of time. And then I think there's obviously some things in plays that he would want back. And Terran works really hard at it. Obviously, every season's not going to be the same, and Terran's still a really good football player. And we ask him to do a lot of things. Here's a guy that's fitting the B gap and playing man-to-man on a, slot receiver. So, I would say there's a little bit up and down, but he's definitely doing some good things. And as all our players, there's things that I know he wants to do better.
Facing a quarterback this week, especially in the last matchup against him, he made some plays out of the scramble drill. Mm-hmm. How do you tell your corners to play those situations? Because it's very difficult if that guy gets out of the pocket and he can look downfield and just find a guy to break over a route.
Yeah, I mean, we have certain things that the NFL now it's all mobile quarterbacks, and we have certain, call it protocols, systems in place that that we use when we're going into, we call them MQFs, and it feels like every week we're talking about it.
What stood out to you the most about May and his progression in his young career?
Drake Maye.
Yeah.
I think this year you just see that progression that you'd expect. What was he picked overall? Second? Third, something like that. Top 5 pick. I was just trying to deem it right. Top 5 pick, that you anticipate seeing out of a top 5 pick, right? And he's just more comfortable. He's in complete control. He's playing confident. I can't remember. I just looked at it. His completion percentage is extremely high, so obviously he's playing accurate pass game football. And I just think you just see a guy that's in year 2 who's extremely talented and just doing really good things.
Benford has back-to-back games with a defensive touchdown. Why are you not surprised by his success as of late?
He's just a pro. He's just a pro, and he wants to be really good, and he works at it, and it's just who CB is. Like, if you were to tell me, hey, it's coming up here, he's going to have a couple defensive touchdowns, wouldn't shock me.
You guys have allowed 31-plus points 3 times this season, which I know doesn't sit well with you, obviously. You're 2-1 in those games, though.
Yep.
It's a bit of a weird question, I understand, but knowing that you have Josh Allen on the other side of the ball and that he allows you to overcome sometimes when the defense isn't having the type of day that it wants, how do you react to that? And does it impact the way that you call a game sometimes, knowing who your quarterback is?
No, I mean, our whole goal, Jay, is to shut him out every time we go out there, right? We're not happy by any means. The only stat that really matters is a win, right? That's the only stat that really matters. Now, within that is areas that if we want to accomplish what we want to accomplish, that we have to get corrected. Yesterday, I just said it, 3rd down red zone trips, can't happen, and that inconsistency. Now, are you going to be 100% perfect all the time? You're not going to be, but it's very important to make sure you understand where you can't let those things become habit, right? You've got to make sure you nip them in the bud right now, and we'll certainly do that.